Hello and welcome to the MSTAR training session to define a supplier of supplier type services and to enter the contracted staff of such a supplier. For example, transport supplier. The steps of defining the supplier remains same as defining any other supplier of consumable or non-consumable, but in this session we will also see how to define the contracted staff, a services supplier. So for this, click on button M star and select module purchase. The name of the module appears on the main screen, which means that you're now working in the purchase module. Click on button business rules and select the screen Supplier Master. As mentioned, this is the same screen where we define the supplier details of consumables, non-consumables and suppliers which provides both consumables and non-consumables. Now we have to enter the supplier details who's providing us services. Services such as binder, catering, electrical, manpower, plumbing, publisher, transport, stationery, sports, etc. So only once we select the supplier type as services, we will be able to see the various categories. Let us see how to define the transport supplier, and the steps for other supplier categories also will remain same. So after selecting the supplier type, select the category transport and then enter the name of the supplier. After entering this name of the supplier, which is a mandatory requirement of the screen, enter other details like registration number, sales tax number. The details of all of these fields have already been explained while defining the Supplier Master screen. So we are only entering the mandatory details in this session. So entering only the mandatory details in the screen to save the services supplier. So let us first save the supplier details which is providing us services of transport. You can enter all relevant fields for the supplier. Now click on the clear button and let us view the supplier entered by us. Click on the view button and select the supplier for entering the contracted staff details. So this is a supplier who's providing us services of the category transport. Now to enter the contracted staff details, click on the button contracted staff details next to the category field. As you enter the contracted staff details button, a small window showing driver or helper details appears with the supplier name as selected. In this window, click on button Add and a new window gets added in the small window. This grid shows us the following columns: serial number, employment type. If we click on the employment type, it shows us two options, driver or helper. So we can define the category of the staff also. Let us select driver as the employment type. In the next column, it is showing us the name. So we enter the name of the contracted staff. So in the name field, you can enter maximum 50 characters and both text and numbers are allowed. Special characters limited to dot, comma, slash and dash are allowed. In the next column, the driving experience in years for the entered contracted staff is defined. So in this, enter the total experience of the contracted staff for driving. So in this field also, you can enter maximum 50 characters and both text and numbers are allowed, whereas no special characters except the dot is allowed for entering the decimal numbers. Decimals to multiple decimal places are allowed. Scroll on the right side and the last column is available as remarks. You can enter any remarks if required for the contracted staff. You can enter maximum 50 characters in this field and both text and numbers are allowed. This is an optional field for saving the details of contracted staff. If you want to add more details, click on button Add and a new row gets added. So again select the employment type of another contracted staff of the supplier, enter the name of the staff and the driving or other experience of the staff and any remarks if required for the contracted staff. After you have entered the details of the staff members, close this window by clicking on the close button available on the window and the window closes. After this, it is important to save the details from the main screen by clicking on the save button and the data saving confirmation message is received. Click OK on the confirmation message. Click on the clear button to clear the screen and select the same supplier to see the contracted staff details. Again for this, after selecting the supplier, click on the contracted staff details button and it will show the details of the contracted staff as entered. Click on the close button on the window and click on the clear screen. In case you have more transport vendors for which contracted staff needs to be entered, repeat these steps as required. Also, the suppliers with supplier type as services and any category other than the transport, we cannot enter the contracted staff, which means that the contracted staff details can only be entered for a supplier with the category of transport. For other suppliers who are providing us other services, we can capture the supplier details in the main screen only. The suppliers defined under the transport reflects as staff to be allocated for contracted vehicles in transport module as drivers or helpers. Thank you for watching this video.